this video I'm going to show you how to use the 3D Parallax Photoshop actions. So the way the actions work is you open your photo, you fill in your subject with a color and just play the action, and just gonna open the timeline here so you can see the results. So what the action does, the action creates this 3D Parallax animated effect, and the results that you get are fully layered, so there is a lot of options for customizing the results, and there are also over 55 actions included, and you can use these actions to create over 1,500 different combinations of the parallax effects. And the action also includes the adjustments actions, so you can create 25 color looks, you can adjust the contrast of brightness, vibrancy, and saturation, and there are also actions included to adjust the speed of the animation, as well as the export actions, so you can export your animation as the video or animation. So I'm just gonna check here the loop playback, so the action will then repeat continuously. So once you render the action as the animation or the video, the action will run smooth. Alright, so I'm just gonna close down these two windows now, and just gonna hide the timeline panel for now. So after you open up your photo, before you start using the action, there are just a few things you should check just to make sure that the action will run without any errors. So the first thing you should check is that your photo is the background layer, so it should be called the background and have this little lock icon. And if you have something like this or anything else, just go to layer, new, and choose a background from layer. Then click on this main icon over here, choose the panel options, and make sure that this option here, the add copy to occupied layers groups, is checked. Then go to the image mode and make sure your photo is the RGB color mode 8-bit channel. You can also check the image size from here. So for best results, you should use the images that run from 2025 to 4500 pixels wide or high. And the larger image size you got here, that's the better. And don't change the image size here, even if you want that the output result is in different size. Keep the image size here as original, and we're going to adjust the image size later, and I'm going to explain why. So just going to close down this window, and to load the action, go to Window, Actions, click on this menu icon right here, Load Actions, and just choose the action from a folder here. Select the action file, choose Load, and when you open the folder, you find all actions here. Alright, and what you can also do is you can click this main icon right here and choose the button mode, and you can just transform these like this, so you get one action in the row, and you can use the actions in this way if it's easier for you. So here the actions are all colored, and how these button mode works is you basically just click on the action and the action will run automatically, so you don't have to select the action and click play. You just click on the action and the action will run. Alright, so it's going to switch it back to the default mode, and what you need to do now is to just go to layer, new layer, to create a new layer and name it brush. And it's important that you spell this correctly, all letters lowercase, because otherwise the action won't work. You choose OK, and now what you need to do is to fill in your subject with a color. So you can choose a brush tool, and you can choose a soft brush here, pick any color pick doesn't matter, and you can now just brush over your subject. Or what you can also do is you can make a selection of your subject and fill it with a color. So you can use quick selection tool, magic pen tool, or any other tool that you like, and just make a selection of your subject and fill it with the color. But it's important that you fill the subject while you have these brush layer here selected. Right, so I'm just going to open up my PSD file here because I already done the brushing before. Here it is. Alright, so once more, it's important that you fill in your subject with a color while the brush layer is selected, so you have the color fill on your brush layer. Alright, so the first action you need to play here is the setup action. So after you create the brush layer, fill in your subject with a color, all you need to do is to select the setup action and just click play, and the action will stop once with the message. So I'm going to fasten the video here and get back when the first message shows. Alright, so here's the message, and it says, if you want to change your photo size, please do the following. Choose stop, go to the image size, and adjust the image size as you like, then click play again. If you want to keep the original photo size, choose continue. So if you choose continue, the action will just keep the work, but we're going to adjust the image size here, so just going to choose stop, and now I'm going to go to the image size. But now the action have made some changes to the photo, so on that way the final effect will have the maximum quality and preserve to not lose any quality of the photos while transforming the subject or the background. So now you can adjust the image size here. I'm just gonna drop it down. Alright, and now what you need to do is to just click play again. Alright, they actually finish, and I'm just gonna open the timeline panel here. Right, so I can use the animation. Now I'm just gonna quickly go through all the actions. So these two actions are basically just going to clear the animation. So if you made the animation of the subject or the background, after running this action, they're going to clear or actually to remove the animation from the subject and the background, right? And these actions here, these actions are inverting the animation. All right, so this one here is going to invert the subject animation. This one here is going to invert the background animation. So what this action actually does is, if you, for example, play the action to transform the subject from the top left corner, and for 125% scale, after running the inverse subject animation, the subject won't transform for the original size to the 125% scale from the top left corner, but is going to actually scale from 125% to original size towards the top left corner. Alright, so we're going to see that later. So what we got here are the subject animation actions. So all these actions here are just making the animation for the subject, so you can scale the subject from different directions at 125% scale, and you can do the same for the 150% scale, and you can move the subject in all four directions for 100 pixels or for 200 pixels if you want. And now what we got here are the background animations. So all these actions here are going to animate the background. So you can't move the background, but you have all these actions for scaling for 125 and 150% scale in all different directions. And then you got the adjustments actions here, so you can run the color looks action and get 25 color looks, or you can use the contrast action, brightness, and vibrance saturation actions to make other adjustments. And what we got here is the change animation speed action, so you can slow down the animation or you can speed it up, and the reset action is just going to reset the speed, the default speed, and you can then export the animation as animation or the video. Right? So how this action works is you just select any action here that you like. So for example, I'm just gonna select the scale the subject for 125% from the center. So I select the action, click play. Alright, so the action is finished, and now if I play the action, I will have the subject animated. Okay, so you can check here the loop playback option, so the animation will repeat. And now I'm going to explain you just once more the invert action, so now you can better understand with this example. So as you can see, what we have now is the subject transforming from the center to 125% scale, and if you run the invert subject animation, what we're going to get is the subject will transform from 125% scale to the original size. Alright, so it's going to reverse the transformation, and it's also going to invert the direction. If you use the action that transforms subject from some direction, or you move the subject, it's going to invert that as well. Alright, so just gonna, if you run it again, you're going to return it to the original animation. And if you want to try some other animation, all you need to do is to just select the other action and click play, and the action will automatically remove the previous animation and apply a new one. Right? The action will always run the first time slower, and once it's finished the rendering, the next time it's going to run more smooth, but it will be even more smooth when you render the animation as the animation on the video. Right? So you can use any action here. All right, and there's one more important thing. You can switch from the action to action without having anything to do, so the action will automatically remove the previous animation and apply a new one. But if you use the invert animation, what you should do is you should, after running the invert subject animation or invert background animation action, if you wish to try some other direction here, you should invert it back and then try the other animation, because if you run the invert subject animation action and the action will invert the animation and then you run some other animation, the action won't be able to reset the subject to default, so you will have the stack of the animation, so you can use that as well if you want. But if you wish that the action is returned to the default, so the subject and the background are in default size and position before running the other action, after you run the invert subject animation, run it again if you wish to try some other direction. Alright, so in this example I'm going to use the 125% scale from top left, so just going to run that action. Alright, and now what I'm going to do is just going to animate the background. From the background I'm going to use the 125% scale top right. Alright, so just going to select the action, click play. Alright, so just going to click play to see the result. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is, as I have finished with the animation, I'm happy with the result. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the color looks action and click play. Alright, so as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the action is going to create the 25 color looks. So all you have to do is to select the color look that you want to try, turn it on, you see how it looks, and if you wish to try another, you simply turn it off, select the other one and turn it on. And what you can also do is you can combine a few color looks, and that is what I'm going to do with this example here. So I'm going to turn on this color look here, and I'm going to adjust its opacity, right? And then I'm going to turn another one and get a completely new color look, right? What you can do is you can then change the opacity of the second color look, and in this way you can actually combine even more than two color looks. Alright, so now just going to run the contrast action. Right, so how you adjust the contrast is you just change the opacity here. Alright, so just going to add a little bit of the contrast, and I'm just going to run the brightness action. Alright, so how you adjust the brightness is you double click on this layer thumbnail here, and you can use now these 5 sliders to adjust the brightness. So you can use this one here to boost the shadows, this one here is going to boost the highlights, this one here affects the midtones, and these two here are going to, this one here is going to fade the shadows, this one here is going to fade the highlights, and I'm just going to leave the default settings here. Alright, so now I'm just going to run the vibrance and saturation action. Right, so how you adjust the vibrance and saturation, you just double click this layer thumbnail, and now you can use this slider to boost the vibrance and the saturation. Alright, now what we got here is the changing animation speed. So once you render the action as the animation of the video, the animation will be actually much faster than it looks here. So it's going to be smooth and much faster. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run the action here, the slow down 3 times. So this action is going to slow down the animation 2 times. So if the animation is by default 1 second long, it's going to be 2 seconds long. If you run the 3 times, it's going to be 3 seconds long. And if after running the action slow down the action 2 times, you're not happy with the result, you need to run the reset action to return the animation to the 1 second length, and then you can run the slowdown 3 times to get the animation last for 3 seconds, right? And this action here is going to speed up the animation for 2 times, so it's going to be half a second long. All right, so in this example I'm going to run the slowdown 3 times action. So I'm just going to select the action, click play. All right, and so as you can see, the action now lasts for 3 seconds. And lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to export the animation. So you can export it as animation. If you want to export animation as the animation, you select the animation action and click play. All right, and now it will need some time to render the animation here due to large image size. So I'm going to fasten the video here. All right, so the render is just finished. So what you can do here is you can change the looping options to forever. That way the animation will repeat continuously, and you can change the image size here, and the changes here won't change your actual image size. This is just the image size of the output result or the actually animation that you're saving. Right, so just gonna close this window, and here we got the video here. So if you wish to export the animation as the video, so just select the video action and click play. Right, so what you can do here is you can again choose the output size, and we can use some of the preset size here, or use your custom. And what you need to do is to make sure that this option here is selected the work area. So you're going to save the work area, and what you have to do is to just click render, and then she's going to render the video. But before rendering a video, just gonna go a few steps back. All right, so just gonna show you a few more different combinations here. So here is our animation. Okay, so what I can do, I can run the invert subject animation here. All right, and as you can see, the subject now scales from 125% scale to original size, instead of going from original size to 125% scale. Right, and you can also see that the direction is inverted, so the subject was transforming from the top left corner, now it's transforming towards the top left corner. Right, and as I mentioned, if you want to try now some other animation, firstly invert the subject animation to the original animation, and now you can just try again any other. So what I can do, I can just choose just gonna choose the move 200 pixels left animation. Click play. All right. So you can experiment with many different combinations here to find ones that you like the most. So I'm just gonna now run the animation that I've chosen for this example. Okay, I'm just gonna slow down the action again. So you can make the animation changes even after you make these adjustment layers and other, but not after you make the speed changes. If you make a speed changes, use the reset action here, right, to reset the speed to default, and then you can again change the animation here if you like. Right. Alright, so now just gonna check out the rendered result and compare the before and after. Right, so this here is our before, and here is the after. Right, so that's it. I hope you understood everything, but if you still need any help or you got any questions, feel free to contact me anytime via my Envato profile page. And thanks for watching.